Hey, my friend, are you a small business owner that loves God, family, country, and capitalism? If so, you're totally in the right spot. You're going to make more money. It's going to be awesome. You're going to go faster. Hey, my name is Josh, and this is my high school sweetheart, Ashlee, and we've been married for over 20 years, and we've learned a lot of stuff. I always joke that we've had lots of suffering, and we've had our grapes crushed. Have we had our grapes crushed over the years?
For sure we've had our grapes crushed.
And today we're going to talk about 6 things that nature can teach us about getting rich, not just financially, but having more abundance in all areas of your life. When I was 18, I think I knew more stuff than I know now. Can you relate with that? I thought I had it figured out. Now, maybe you can relate to that and get a chuckle out of it, but what I've learned over the years is that learning is accessible to us everywhere in the little things. It's in nature, it's in your children, it's in your relationships, it's in little comments that people say. There's lessons and principles literally everywhere. You just have to learn how to see it, right?
Right.
So Ashlee's going to be our list reader here. What do we got first, Ash?
Number 1, many beautiful things are hidden.
See, you're beautiful and you're not hidden. You're right out here. You're on YouTube now. We have dozens of viewers. It's going to be amazing. So here's the thing. In nature, some of the most incredible, extraordinary things are just now being discovered. And this happens perpetually all the time. Humans are explorers, but what's fascinating to me when I think about creation and how God made things is that he put beautiful things that were never to be seen until thousands of years later, is that he put beautiful things that would never be seen for thousands of years, but they are still important. And the principle to go back to our life is the little things that we do in secret are valuable. You don't have to be seen doing all the valuable things. There's things you do in quiet when no one's looking, right? Are you picking up what I'm throwing down?
Yes, I'm totally picking up what you're throwing down.
There's beauty in work. There's beauty and honor in educating yourself, doing a little bit more, pushing yourself, competing with yourself. The stuff you create, I think people seek public accolades, mind you, and they want credit from other people rather than just doing the work and letting it do what it does. You know, there's 2 types of work. There's the work that you do on it and the work that it does on you. I think that's beautiful, and I see a parallel in nature.
Love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's keep going. Number 2, there are seasons.
This is an obvious one, right? There are seasons. You know, we've been joyfully and happily married the whole time, right? Right?
No. No.
It's been tricky. You know, sometimes we joke that we've trauma bonded, right? Which is like when you go through trauma with someone, it actually can, if you survive it and come out the other side, it creates a relationship unlike anything else. And like our relationship is so much deeper than it was 20 years ago, right?
Right.
And we survived by the grace of God, but we also recognize now the value of seasons. I think sometimes people want to pursue balance. Everybody's like, we need balance. Why do you work so much? Well, balance is not the goal, nor should it ever be your goal. The word balance, it's a misnomer. It's a thing. It bothers me when people say it because I don't think they know what it means. My definition of balance means that you're mediocre in every category of your life at the same time. Definitionally, let's say there's 15 categories of things that are important to you. You as a father, you as a son, you as a husband, you as a business owner, your bank account, your wealth, your health, your spirituality, all these things. If you're in balance, you're not excelling at anything. You're mediocre at everything. The key is to understand intentional imbalance. Or is it intentional unbalance? I don't know. Imbalance, unbalance. What are your thoughts on seasons?
I actually think the most memorable seasons that I've ever had were my hardest growing seasons. When we moved to Costa Rica, it was the hardest year of my life, but I would never take that back because I grew into who I was going to become. And so seasons are necessary. And if it was always the same, you will not remember it and you won't have growth.
Mic drop. I can't argue with that. I mean, just on that, think about winter and think about the fact that winter is normal. But then in our life, when we have these weird dead periods where we might feel nothing in our soul for 90 days at a time, we're like surprised by it. And this is a normal oscillation. It's a normal cycle. There's growth, there's contraction and expansion, and there's all this stuff happening. I don't think we have to panic because you know what's awesome about winter? It means that every day of winter means we're that much closer to spring, right?
Oh man, there's nothing like spring too. Just new life and new beginnings.
100%. What do we got next?
Number 3, there are second order consequences.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one. So in corporate theory, there's this fancy language called second, third, and fourth order consequences. And what that means is that when you make a decision in your company, there's the result that decision produces that you expected, but then there's all these other butterfly effect, ripple effect, second and third order consequences, right? Like if you say that you want to plant a tree so that you can have shade in your backyard, fair enough. You plant a tree and now you have shade in your backyard, but there's second and third order consequences. It aerates the soil. It helps with runoff. There's all these things. That's not why you did it, but it's still a thing that happens because you did it. And in nature, there's second and third and fourth order consequences. The ecosystem, the food chain, the way everything works. There's the core obvious reason why it works, and then there's all these other benefits of it. And this is true in business and in relationships. You could start a business to make more money. But what winds up happening is you become a better leader, a better communicator, a better father. You become a benefactor and a charitable giver. You could become a staple and a pillar in your town. There's like all this other stuff. That's not maybe why you started it, but because you started it, it happened. I think that's insane. It's powerful. The ripple effect. What do you think?
I remember the first time I've ever really experienced that was when I was Christmas shopping for our kids when we first had our first company. And oh, it's gonna make me cry. And I saw one of our employees' wives, and she had a whole basket of Christmas. And she said, I just wanted to thank you because this is gonna be the best Christmas we've ever had because of what our company provided for their family. So
Huge.
it's just really cool. It's actually one of probably the best Christmas gifts I've ever received is giving.
It's literally a perfect example. And we didn't talk about any of this before. We just hit record, but perfect example. I mean, it's so satisfying that all these other mortgages are paid because of the company you created and invented. Isn't that wild? Do you ever think about that? Sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit on the impact that we're making. And just because it's messy and flawed doesn't mean you're not making huge impacts outside of money for yourself, right? And I want that for you, and you're going to get that. But there's all this other peripheral benefit. It's awesome.
Yep. And then number 4, small things are deadly.
Ooh, small things are deadly. So back to Costa Rica, they have these insane demonic creatures called tarantula hawks, okay? Why these exist, I don't know. I got questions for God when I get to go up there and talk to him. But it exists. Why do mosquitoes exist? There's lots of little things that are deadly. The tarantula hawk is this giant hornet that hunts, kills, and eats tarantulas, okay? And we saw this firsthand. We pulled in our Gringo Express, which was a 15-passenger diesel bus. We'd drive around with our 4 kids at the time in Costa Rica. And we saw a tarantula being dragged across the pavement by this little hawk. Now, what's the principle? What's the lesson in that? Is that little things can be deadly. Or you could spin it and say little things can be powerful. And this is true for you. The little things can move the needle. It's the little things. I like this quote. It says that professionals never don't do the fundamentals.
Ooh.
Right? Or sometimes they use the example of Vince Lombardi in the 1960s walking into the locker room of the Green Bay Packers, and he says, gentlemen, this is a football. And people criticized him a little bit about that because they're like, these are professional athletes. They've been playing football since they were 8 years old. What are you doing, right? But the team had forgot the fundamentals. They went on that year to win the Super Bowl, by the way, I believe. And the question to you is, what little things are you neglecting because you mistakenly believe the next new shiny object is going to be the success? Are you disciplined? Are you organized? Are you adding value? Are you giving more than you're taking? Are you working? Are you selling enough? Are you making enough noise? These little things are needle movers. And as powerful as a tarantula hawk is, that's a principle 1-to-1 back to our business from nature.
Ooh, I love that so much. And you use 2 words. I think you use deadly and powerful. Same thing, but one actually kills you and one strengthens you. And so I thought that was really powerful because those little things are the big, and you can see it in people's character too, to be honest. It's a character thing. And so you can up-level your character in the little things to become powerful, turn your deadly things into power. Yeah.
If you look at someone who's a high achiever, it happens real quick, but you're like, oh, wow, he's good at that. Look at what he got. No. There's so many little things stacked on top of each other, most of the time for decades, done in secret, that created the success that you see today. It's these little things, the not quitting, the grit, the resilience, the irritability with achieving more, like just being discontented, right, with your situation and doing little things in secret, changing the copy in your emails, updating your landing page, iterating, split testing, the boring work, the little things stacked up together creates a humongous result.
Awesome. And number 5, trees don't work hard.
Trees don't work hard. I heard this from my good friend Riley Meek. Shout out to you, Riley. Much love, brother. But you were talking at an event last weekend about how trees don't have to like travail in labor to produce fruit. It's interesting. It was funny. He's like, imagine an apple tree and it's planted there by the stream and it goes, and another apple pops out, right? Like that's not what happens. Trees do what they do, right? Trees were designed to do a thing and they do that thing. You know, Myron always talks about how God designed the fish to swim and they swim and the birds to fly and they fly. He designed you to grow and expand and to level up. Like literally, you're made in God's image, which means you are a creator. You are a builder. The first thing we learn about God is that he's creative. In the beginning, God what? He created. If we're made in his image, we're supposed to build and create, right? And so creation doesn't mean suffering and always being a hardologist with stuff. Sometimes working harder has the opposite effect because you might be working harder on the wrong thing, or you might have a misunderstanding of who you are. You were designed and engineered for success. And if everything is perpetually difficult for you, there's something misaligned either with your understanding of who you are or you're in the wrong lane. Maybe you're just chasing money. Maybe you're supposed to have a ministry. Maybe you're supposed to have a different kind of business, but you have fear. And it's always a struggle and feels hard when you're doing something you weren't designed to do. Now, if an apple tree wanted to create an orange, that'd be impossible, but let's just assume that the apple tree has consciousness. It would be pretty stressed out. It would be working and bending and trying to figure it out and wait for the rain and waiting for this. And it would be trying to create something it wasn't designed to create, and it will never work. Is that true for you? I don't know.
Can I add one little quick thing? Because trees don't work hard. I love this, but I also think trees have to thrive in a good environment. And so they have to have good soil and water and all the things. And so make sure that the environment that your team is in or you are in is where you can produce fruit. Because also an apple tree that doesn't produce fruit is no good. And
That's a really important point that I didn't bring up. So thank you for saying that, because your environment, the things you consume, you take into yourself, right? If there's toxic waste next to the apple tree, it's not going to produce fruit. So there are some external things, and but you can apply this stuff to your life.
Yeah, and I think another thing that steals fruit from is looking at other people's fruit and saying, "Oh man, why am I not an orange tree?"
Right.
Instead of just focusing, because like
Yes.
other trees don't worry about what other people are doing and what fruit they're producing. They just produce their fruit for the world or for, So
That's a huge thing,
Yeah.
huge, right? We compare ourselves to others instead of comparing ourselves to ourselves. And it's not just comparing yourself to yourself, it's comparing yourself to what you are designed to do, what lane you're supposed to be walking in, what result you're supposed to be pursuing. You don't have to make excuses for it. You don't have to explain it to anybody. But if you know that you were made on purpose for a purpose, walk in that direction, compare yourself to the potential of you doing that thing. Everything else is kind of irrelevant, if you're honest.
And that kind of leads us into number 6. Every watch has a watchmaker and a destiny, which leads right from where you're saying to that.
Yeah. Every watch has a watchmaker. You know, if you're in the Sahara Desert and you see a Rolex watch laying half covered by sand, if you pick up that watch and dust it off and blow the sand off of it, and then you tell yourself, wow, what an amazing set of circumstances. Somehow the sand assembled itself into a watch. Somehow the wind blew at the right angle with the right temperature and the right amount of humidity in the air, and this watch appeared, right? As insane as that is, that's what atheists believe, right? that we're a cosmic accident, that a puddle of goo got struck by lightning and an amoeba crawled out and now you're the amoeba. I'm oversimplifying it, right? But the truth is that there's massive design in creation that's observable. There's order to it. There's structure to it. Everything has a purpose, like we talked about with the apple tree. The same thing is true for you. Get this, and it will change your life. You literally, actually, not as me saying positive motivational things, literally 2 + 2 = 4. You were made handmade on purpose for a specific purpose. The Bible says that before the foundations of the world, God prepared good works for you. What does that mean? It means you have a kingdom assignment. You have a destiny and a mandate and a mission. Now, you might not know what it is. You might think I'm nuts for saying this, but I want to challenge you to ask yourself, is there design in nature? And if there is, there's massive design in you. You're not a cosmic accident, okay? And so what is your purpose? If you don't know it, your purpose is to find your purpose. Your purpose is to do stuff and look for clues. What gives you goosebumps? When do you feel the anointing? When do you feel the power of your lane? When do you feel like you're alive? these are little clues. Maybe it's when you're giving advice to a friend. Maybe it's when you're doing something athletic. Maybe it's when you're writing or when you're thinking or you're learning or you're teaching. These are clues. Figure out what your purpose is, because you absolutely, for sure, definitely have one. There's no need to compare yours to someone else's because it's yours. No one in the world can do it. It's there for you. It's a gift. And those are my thoughts on that. What do you think?
I think all of these are so powerful. I think all of these are so powerful, but I would just say they're a little bit tricky to do unless you really just, I got nothing.
Unless you really calm down? Are you saying is it too overwhelming?
I think when people look at this list, they might be overwhelmed, but also these are the simple daily tasks that just get you. You just need to build upon build. Like, you just have to build good things. 6 things nature teaches us about getting rich. Number 1, many beautiful things are hidden. Number 2, there are seasons. Number 3, there are second order of consequences. Number 4, small things are deadly. Number 5, trees don't work hard. And number 6, every watch has a watchmaker.
Good recap. We're definitely leaving that other part in for sure, because it's hilarious and that this is real life. Okay. Hey, listen, if you're getting value from this channel, that's what we're trying to do, is give you value. If you are, like it, share it, subscribe it, click the bell thingy, comment, let us know what's helped you the most, what's not as helpful, what you're confused on, what you're stuck on. And Ashlee, I love you, but it's okay. We'll leave it in. And, share this video with someone that it can help.
We don't need to leave that in. Thank you so much.
Share the video with someone it can help, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.